Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. As you can tell from the title of this video, we are in 2022. Happy New Year. Why am I using the same vision board that I made last year? It's because I did none of it. So I realized towards the end of the year, and because of my birthday, I seem to have I seem to have a problem, because sometimes it does become a problem. I have a problem of reflecting too hard and being too hard on myself. And you know, my birthday is the first day of the year, so for me it's like if I don't hit a goal by the first of the year, by my birthday, by New Year's Day, completing the previous year, it kind of throws everything off. So yeah, my birthdays are bittersweet sometimes because of me mentally not taking the time to realize how blessed I am. And I think that's one of the things that I did this year. You know, when I felt like I hadn't accomplished things, and you know, I'm about to go into my last year, my 20s, I started to get really overwhelmed. Then I caught COVID. Then literally everything I had planned for the week of my birthday, none of it happened. Everything was canceled, even before I found out I had COVID. So I was laying there during my quarantine, and I looked up and I saw my vision board, and I was just like, I did none of this. I did none of this. All that I had, and I'll share a little bit more of what I have in a minute, but I realized I did none of it. But I realized that I did so much more. You know, I was able to go from contract part-time to contract full-time at a job that I'm technically not qualified for, and that was great. And I'm being paid more than I was last year. I started off the year with doing 2 different contracts, and both of them were part-time, and then I was offered full-time contract for a year, and I'm not really I'm not qualified on paper for this role, but given the opportunity, I can be qualified by next year to sit in this role. But just even having the opportunity, this is kind of like my dream job. Working at a college, doing counseling, being a therapist, is something that it's kind of been like my end goal. But of course my goals are always changing, the vision's always changing. I got to travel. I went to Portugal, I went to St. Martin, I went to North Carolina. So many good things have happened this year that, you know, though nothing in my vision board came to fruition, you know, I still had a great year. And I found myself looking at my vision board and saying, well, I didn't do any of this. And before I started to get into another mood, I wrote down everything that I was able to do this year and all the blessings that came, not only for me, but the people that I love. So many people had babies this year, safe pregnancies, you know, so many people bought houses. And, you know, for me, it's just like, I count those with the things that, you know, the blessings that God has blessed me with, because, you know, I think it's important for you to celebrate your friends. You know, I've seen my friends want these things for a long time, and for them to have them, it gets me excited. All right, so this is my vision board. Hopefully you can see it. Well, I'll start with the quote I have at the bottom. You have more to lose by standing still than you do by moving. And I think for me, when I did this at the end of 2020, I was feeling stuck, not knowing what to do, not knowing where I'm going. You know, at the end of 2020, my role at my job was ending by January 20th of 2021. and I just felt so defeated. Nothing was going right, dating, things like that wasn't working out. We were in a pandemic, yes, but it just felt like nothing was working. So my therapist actually quoted this in a session, and I think I think I was in a moment of just like not wanting to try things, being nervous, being scared, being worried, and she said that. And so one of my goals for this year, because though this was for 2021, I'm going to use this for this year, is Sally Mae, getting rid of her. I am almost done with one of my loans, but I took out another one for her, so I have to get rid of that one also. I have exercising 4 times a week, practicing self-love, and being intentional of what I put into my body. I think my year for this, the word of the year for me is being intentional. Just intentional and being mindful of some of the things that I do, things I put in my body, even to the conversations that I have, just being really intentional of showing up for myself, but then also showing up for like the people that I care about. I do have some YouTube goals. I want to hit 1K. I want to figure out a plan to be consistent. Being consistent, again, with working out, walking, whether that's walking, but just being consistent with these things. Moving, I definitely want to move. I think I'm ready. Figuring out the location, figuring out, steps to buying my first home. Something that I always wanted was, to own a home. And then I got this quote from the Shade Room, and it says, procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God owes you another opportunity to do what you have time to do. And I think that's kind of where my quote from my word of the month, my word of the year comes from. I think I say I'm going to do these things. I say I want to do these things, but actually taking the time, being intentional, making the steps towards these goals is something that I am trying to do. Figuring out my prayer life and working on the relationship with God is something that I think I definitely started. If there was one thing that I think I am improving on, is figuring out like my prayer life and making time for God and making time for, to sit and meditate and to dwell and to read. And actually I think I need to do a better job of reading my Bible, but I think prayer wise and like actually making that space and like, whether it's praise and worship, I definitely did a good job at in 2021. And I also found this quote on IG, and it says, Lord, we thank you for the ideas. Now we are asking for the strength, courage, and boldness to carry them out. And last but not least, figuring out relationship. Dating, relationship, figuring out, I think I know what I want. I think I'm working on my communication. And so, I have this quote, don't assume your partner knows about everything you expect in a relationship. Let him know. A relationship should be based on communication, not assumption. And I think, that's something that I'm working on, is my communication and how I communicate with others. And that's something that I've definitely been working on in 2020, 2021, is just being mindful of the things that I say to people, how I say it. I'm human, so I fall, but just working on those things also. Oh, and I reached this goal, being able to have 20K or more in my savings account. That was a goal. So I guess there's 2 things that I actually did achieve in 2021. And, again, I plan to be intentional with my vision board. And yeah, so I made my vision board on Canva, and then I got this, I got it printed at Walgreens. I believe this is like the 8x10, And then I got this frame from Michael's. So gold frame, the back, this is just the photo, and then this is like a clear back. I think it also came with a clear back, or yeah, because this is like a plastic. But I got this, and this is my vision for 2022. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching, and make sure you subscribe.